Filtvedt. Football, by the hell.
We're practically at sacred ground, and in front of me is one of Manchester United's most loyal legends. I would normally say welcome to the podcast, but actually we are guests in your house now, so thank you for having us, Albert.
It's a pleasure. Always a pleasure to do things like this for the club. It's great.
We're sat here in the new TV studio, looking out at Old Trafford. How does this place make you feel?
It always makes me feel good. It always makes me feel very proud. And sitting here on the Monday after the Liverpool game, I'm still flying.
Yeah.
I'm still flying because I've just been in the restaurant having some lunch and the place is buzzing. You know, everybody's got a smile on their face, and it's a great place to be and a great club to work for.
Let's take us back to where it all started, Albert. You started here working in 1993.
Yep.
And you finished same season as Sir Alex Fergusons in 2013.
That's right.
How did you get the job?
I got the job through the original. There's only been 3 kitmen here at the club. The original one was a guy called Norman Davis, who I first bumped into when I was 15 years of age, working at a Ford dealer's in Manchester. And Norman was a vehicle trimmer, and I was a trainee apprentice mechanic. And I worked with Norman as his apprentice for about 18 months. We became very, very good friends. Norman eventually left the garage and came working for the club, driving the minibus. And then eventually they developed the role of the kitman, because all, you know, different things were happening. It was no longer the trainer or the assistant manager that packed the kit. There was more and more kit when sponsorships come into it and all different things. So there was a role there for somebody to keep their eye on it and to, you know, make sure all the seams went out looking good and whatever. And Norman did that job for 26 years. And I always used to be funny and have jokes with Norman. When you finish with this job, give us a shout. You couldn't do it, he kept saying. You couldn't do it. Blah, blah, you'd never do it and whatever. Anyway, one day, right out of the blue, it was in the days when in this country you had to retire at 65. And Norman was coming up to 62, and it had been discussed about, you know, because he had like 3 years left. And he rings me up one day and said, "This job of mine." So I said, "Bloody hell." I said, "You're not having another bad day, have you, are you?" And I can remember it as though it was yesterday. He says, "Get your arse round to my house tonight. I want you to have it and we'll discuss it." And basically that was it.
Wow.
Because he said to me, "The reason why I want you to have it is because you're honest, you're hard-working, I can trust you, and I know you won't let me down." And that stayed with me all the way through my career as the kitman, because I didn't want to let Norman down, and I don't think I did.
No.
What was your relationship with United before you got the job?
Oh, I've been coming here since I was 6.
Yeah. So that was a dream that came true, basically.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have been coming here since I was 6, so I've been coming here nearly 70 years now.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's wonderful.
We're honored to be here. We're looking forward to dig around for every story that you can tell us about what you experienced here at the club.
Not every story.
Some of them.
We'll try, though. We'll try. But can you try to... We all know where Manchester United are at the moment. And can you try to put into words what the ride this has been for you with Manchester United?
The ride for me?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I was only talking to somebody on Friday. I can't believe, and if you just said to me when I first started, that I would go to the places I've been, meet the people that I've met, and seeing the wonderful footballers that I've met. And I mean, because we've been blessed at this club by wonderful, wonderful players, fantastic, the best players, and wonderful people. And because Sir Alex had a like a knack. They didn't all come off. Let's be fair, they didn't. He'd be the first to admit that. But he used to do a lot of like a vetting thing where if there was any doubt, no matter how good the player was, if he was going to like turn into a, shall we say, a bad apple, no matter how good of a player he was, he didn't get signed. But he did well over the years with his signings. And once I got the boss's trust, which to this day I'm so proud of, he used to tell me all sorts, because, you know, some days I felt as though it was his sounding board that he told me was, you know, we were going to sign him, or what do you think about that, or blah blah blah, and that was getting his trust, and I'm so proud of that even today, and I'm very, very proud of the trust that I've got off the club. I really am. There's no.
Because you were the kitman, but you were also so much more than that.
Well, I call myself. People say to me, "What do you say about your job?" Glorified baby minder. Definite. I mean, some of the things that I've tried to sort out, or some of the things that the boys have asked me to do, or can you do this? What do you think of this? You know, that's all part of the thing. And but I can thank Norman for everything, because he was, when I first started, I mean, I got many a clip behind the ear off Norman when I was 15, a cheeky little 15-year-old. When I was 40-something, when I started at the club, I still got a clip round the ear for different things. But it did me good. It toughened me up. It toughened me up. And from the day that I went into it on my own after Norman had gone till the day I finished, I always did it Norman's way, and it never let me down. Never let me down.
I don't think any of us, or people in general, know how much work, or even how much important work a kitman does. Can you tell us how important would you say the role of a kitman is, and how important you was in your role? And don't be shy.
Well, I mean, let's have it right. I mean, we've been all over the world with this club, and I mean all over the world. And all right, I'll hold my hands up. I've had a couple of mistakes. A few people will say I've had more than a couple of mistakes, but I'll stick to me couple of mistakes that I still get the Mickey took out of me on, you know. But you've got to be so precise and be careful and concentrate, and it's a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure.
How did you cope with that?
Personally, people ask me, that's a very popular question. I wrote it because, you know, I had a good wife at home, and whenever I had to talk to somebody, I used to say to my wife, she'd know. She'd say, "What's happening at work? What's up with you? You sat there, you're quiet because you know your head's going and whatever." Because a lot of the times I always felt that I was sat on top of the fence. I had the boys on the right hand side of the fence, and I had the manager and the coaches on the left hand side of the fence, and I was hearing things off both sides, and they were both asking me things about the other side and this and that and the other, and it was like juggling soot, you know, and yet, and sometimes, whoa.
How was it to put your head on the pillow when you were supposed to sleep?
Well, you was that knackered, you fell asleep. You didn't have a problem sleeping because sometimes, I mean, it was hectic. But I mean, like in '99 when we won the treble, I don't know how me and the rest of the staff, I don't know how we did it, because we were just running on adrenaline. Really was. It was no two ways about that. It was, but it was great, and personally I hope we don't do it again, because I just want to be part of that, you know, that team that did it, because you know, it's a wonderful thing to do.
It surely sounds hectic.
Yeah.
Can you give us some insight into what a normal working day looked like?
Well, there was never ever one working day that was the same. You could plan your day in your head, to say, like when you was going to sleep, as you say at night, you could, do this tomorrow, I've got that to do, and I've got this to do. At 6 o'clock in the morning, or sometimes before, the phone would go.
Yeah.
And you're just, you know, you're still in your sleep and whatever. The phone would go. And my missus would pick the phone up. Oh, good morning, boss. And they'd hear him say, is he there? So she'd say, well, he's in trouble if he isn't. And she'd hand me the phone. What are you doing today? Oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Well, you can leave that for a bit. I want you to do this, and I want you to go down to Birmingham, and I want you to pick Dwight York up and bring Dwight York up. I'm going to bring him to the stadium. Don't let anybody see him. Don't tell anybody, because I'm going to sign him.
Yeah.
But you had to do, you know, so you have to get up, go to Birmingham. Nobody's doing your job. And then you have to start when you come back and whatever.
So it's not something that the kitman should do in a regular.
Well, that was the trust.
Yeah.
That was
exactly.
the trust.
Yeah.
That was the trust. Like some many a time, we'd come back from Europe. You'd get back any time from 2 o'clock in the morning till about 4:30, 5 o'clock. So you'd land at the airport, they'd all go home. You're waiting for an hour for all the baggage to come through. So there's another hour. They're in bed then. So then you got to bring it back here. Then you've got to go home. So you just get in bed, you just get nice and cosy, you're just going into your deep sleep. Phone would go. Yeah, is it? Yeah, Robert. Morning, boss. Do me a favour. What's that? I've got to go to London today to a league managers meeting. I want to leave my car at home. Can you come and pick me up and take me to the training ground? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. I'll see you about 9 o'clock. No, now. So you'd had an hour and a half sleep, 2 hours. Right? So you'd get up, didn't think anything about it. You go up to Wimslow to pick him up, come back, take him to the training ground. You have your breakfast, and so then you're there. So you start work. You get your girls in the laundry working, and you know start doing. You better preparing for the next game, getting your boots out and whatever. And then 12 o'clock, he'd ring you. Right, I'm ready. So then you drop everything.
Yeah.
You know, while the next day. And then you take him to the station. So don't forget you've had an hour and a half sleep.
Yeah.
So you take him to the station, you drop him off at the station at Stockport. I live in Stockport. So you go home, don't you, to try and get some rest. He'd ring you in the afternoon about 4 o'clock after he'd tried to get me round the club. People had told him I've gone home. Then he'd say, are you on half day now?
You told us about that secret mission from Sir Alex Fergusons, sending you to Birmingham to pick up Dwight York. Tell us more about that story, and do you have even more examples from like secret missions? And did you like that?
Yeah, it was. You just did it. It was just. Yeah, it was the trust thing.
Yeah.
And I can't say how proud anymore how proud I was than that to have his trust. You know. But the best part about that was with Yorkie, picked him up, coming back. Nobody's supposed to know. Nobody's wants. He's on the mobile. Have a guess where I'm going? have a guess where I'm going. Must have phoned about 40 odd birds. Then you got to come back here. The boss said, nobody saw you, did they? I said, no, but half the fucking world knew.
Yeah. 12.4 million, wasn't it?
Yeah. How many of Ferguson's signings did you sneak into Old Trafford?
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3. Not all of them signed.
Okay, can you tell us who didn't sign?
Well, there was and sometimes I used to take them home to my house.
To your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know anything about it because he'd phone my wife, and Debbie he'd get Debbie to do some bacon sandwiches.
Wow.
And I'd pick them up from the airport and take them home to the house because the press were they'd follow you about on one thing and another, and so he was crafty in that way. I wouldn't like to do it now with the mobile phones and the media the way it is now. It's awful. That'd be much more difficult. That
was one of Ferguson's tasks for you to collect the players' phones in the
dressing room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How was that?
Well, I mean, there's 2 people that get slaughtered at the football club. There's the kitman and the groundsman, because it's never anybody else's fault.
Of course not.
So the kitman gets blamed for, say, if you've got beat, the ball was too soft or the ball was too hard or whatever, and then the poor old groundsman gets battered because the grass is too long. All that type of stuff. So you're on a loser, but that all becomes part of the game, shall we say?
Yeah.
But what was you got me outside chat there?
About the phones.
Oh, the
that you had
phones.
to
So he said to me one day. He says he rang me up on a match day. He said, "Have you got a box?" So I said, "Yeah." I said, "Why? What do you want a box for?" He said, "Get a little box." He says, "And as they get off the bus at the back door here," he said, take all the phones off them." He said, "I'm sick of this media stuff," because it was just starting then. He said, "Take the phones off them." So I'm there at the doorway, and I've got this little box. I said, "Right, come on, boys, give us your phone." "Why?" And the boss said, "Ooh, they were all," and I got about half of them. So
Okay.
when I goes in the dressing room, he said to me, he said, "How many phones have you got in the box?" So I said, 7. "Right," he said, "we want there's 18 of you. We want another 9 phones. Come on, in the box." So they all put the phones in the box, and they're all not having a go at him. They're having a go when I'm going. Of course. Blah, blah, and that's how. So he started with that, but then 1 or 2 of them started having another phone. So they had 2 phones.
Oh, okay.
So there's 1 in the box and 1 in the pocket. There again, the trust.
The trust, yeah.
The trust. There was the I'm so proud of the trust.
Yeah.
How do you think you gained that trust? Because he had a number of assistants during the years. But you stayed with him the whole time.
There was a few of us. Not many. It was like the inner circle. It was like the inner circle. The boys used to phone me up on a Friday night. I knew the team. I knew it all day Friday. Because obviously I had to put the kit out, but I didn't put the shirts out. You see, I had the squad, but I didn't put them out. So they'd go to the hotel, and they'd all be there. They didn't know who was playing or who wasn't playing, and there'd be say like 18 to 20 of them, and then they'd have the meal and they'd go to the rooms and get ready for bed and whatever, and then I could be out having a drink somewhere, and my phone would go, "Hiya, blah blah blah, am I in tomorrow?" And he used, "I don't know, son." "You fucking well know, you bastard." Who's, and then somebody else, "I don't know.
No.
I don't know." Oh, it was all the regulars.
Yeah.
The regulars. It was a game.
Yeah.
It was a good game, but it was funny.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't tell them. And then the next day when they came in for the game, he'd have a bit of a team talk at the hotel, still not tell them who was playing. And then they'd come in and they'd have the final meeting here. But what he used to do, he used to say to me, go and be in his office, and he'd say to me, go and get Giggsy and Scholesy and tell them I want them in my office. And then you knew that they were going to be on the bench, you see. So them two, I say, Scholesy, Giggsy, the gaffer wants you. And they go, you fucking you.
So you were basically like a diplomat, I guess, between the players and the boss?
Yeah. Oh, well, I was going to say...
That seems, to me, like a very, very tricky and difficult task to perform.
Oh, yeah. You had to have... And there was, again, that was me thing off where Norman toughened me up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you let the boys walk all over you, they would walk all over you. You know, cruel. But you had to be, you know,
thick-skinned.
Oh, definitely. You know, they'd call you all sorts. They'd do all sorts to you, little tricks and one thing and another. But even I always felt that I had the respect of them. They were all good like that. And even now, you know, when I see them all from time to time, like. We do these Legends games here, and you know, I still do the kit. I still do the kit for that, and I love doing that because all the boys come together, and the first thing they went, and then the night before the game, we always go into Manchester and have a meal. That's all organised in a restaurant. Of course, as soon as I walk in, and one thing or another, they say, "Fucking hell, are you still alive?" You know, brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
and it keeps me young.
Yeah.
Keeps me young.
And I've heard that Paul Scholes had to go at you after you had was it heart surgery?
The heart bypass.
Yeah.
Yeah. It came to the hospital with the oxygen. What does this do? And I got this. And he just bent the tube in half, cut the oxygen off. But that was. But it did you good.
Yeah.
It did you good. I mean, like. When the boys found out that I was having a bypass, and having a heart bypass, Brian McClare comes in the laundry one morning, and he's got 4 pieces of wood, and he lays them out on the bench, and he says, "Pick a piece of wood." I said, "Well, pick a piece of wood for it." He said, "Pick a piece of wood." He said, "And the lads are going to have a whip round for your coffin." but it you know what I mean, it got you through. It was all part of the thing. Brilliant. I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
And I guess that goes for the players as well, that if you signed for Manchester United, you had to be able to go into that dressing room and, you know, cope with the pressure and the banter and everything.
Because I mean, if you couldn't handle that, you was a waste of time being here.
And were you in a way Ferguson's eyes in the dressing room? You know, observing what was going on. And
what you're trying to say nicely? It was I the spy, aren't you?
Yeah,
that's what you're trying to say. Because that's what the boys used to say.
Yeah.
Hey, up, the spy's here. That's what the boys used to say.
Spy, okay.
The spy.
Yeah. And then they started to behave.
No, they do something to you. But it was all part of the game. It was all part of getting the camaraderie. You know, it was a fantastic time to be. Yeah.
Back to Sir Alex Ferguson, because you worked together for 20 years.
Yeah.
How was your relationship from the start to the end? How did that develop?
Well, I can always remember I came in and I was only like Norman's assistant then, so we devised this plan that I would learn through taking the kids to games and doing the kit with the junior teams, and then I'd do the reserve teams. And part of the job on a Saturday was like we had a minibus, so I'd take all the kit with me in the minibus, but I'd also take the players with me as well. Well, the players in '93, you know, when and '94 were the class of '92 that were all coming through, all the villains. as I used to call them. Your Scholeses, your Beckhams, the Nevs, all the gang. You know, and I still call them to this day my boys. Very proud of my boys. And I used to take them, and then then you progressed, and they progressed as well, and whatever, they'd come to me about things, and we built the relationship in. And then after the first 12 months, the boss gave me a book, and I've still got the book at home, one of his first books. And it says in the front of the book, "Well done, Albert, on your first year. I didn't think you was going to make it."
What did that do to you, receiving his book and that?
Well,
message?
I was, it was nice because he put a comment in everybody's. He gave everybody a book, and he put a comment in that, in everybody's books. I don't know what he put in everybody else's, but I've always found that amusing to me. And over the years, we've just built this camaraderie up, and we're still very, very good friends today, and I see him a lot and speak to him most days. And
how is he?
I still get the sack twice a week, even though I've been retired for 10 years. I got the sack yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, he rang me up because he knows that I was at the training on Saturday, watching the training. He asked me, did I know the team yesterday when he was coming in his car? So I said I don't know. I said I don't know the team. I said I only know that Casemiro wasn't training. So he said, I said, you're fucking hopeless, you're sacked, and he put the phone down.
But you did pull one on him as well. At some point when he was going to France, didn't you?
With the bag. With the bag. Oh, that was a belter.
Tell us.
He had this brown bag, and for all the bags that I give him, and I must have given him numerous bags over the years, because we all like to travel in uniform. We all have the same bag and the same jacket and this and that and the other. And he never used none of these bags, only this old battered brown bag, and I christened it the decorator's bag, because that's what it looked like. It looked like a decorator's bag. So he came in here one day, and it was like now, it was the start of an international, but after the game it was going to be like an international break. So he says to me, he said, I've left my bag in my car, because I ended up with the car as well. And he said, we go and get my bag out of the back of my car, he said, and put it in my office. So I said, so goes in the boot of his car, and there's this brown bag. Oh, a mess, this brown bag. So I thought, right. So I goes in the maintenance department at the back of the ground. I says, right, lads, come on. I says, give us I said, have you got any old paint rollers and some brushes and a pair of overalls and all? So we get this bundle of this brushes and paint rollers and scrapers and one thing and another. And I opened the bag up and put it all in and one thing and another. And just put it in the office. I think we won the game, and we went on the top of the league. So everybody went home happy, and he went off to France and whatever. And we all went, all the staff. Steve McLaren was here at the time, and Steve was very, very good at organising nights out and whatever for the staff and the wives. So we all went to some hotel somewhere in Alderley Edge and had a good night. Got back home, just dropping off to sleep. Phone went. And this voice says, "You're fucking sacked." And I could hear Kathy laughing in the background.
How much humour and how much seriousness was it when he said these things? From your point of view?
Brilliant. Absolutely, absolutely.
And did you ever think, okay, this time I actually went too far, so I might not be here tomorrow?
No, because he'd do things. They'd all do things to you.
Yeah.
So you was like, they was working as a gang, and you was fighting on your own. You had to. You had to survive. And they did all sorts.
Yeah.
Do you know what he did to me on my first day? my first week when I was here. First week. I've just told you before that. They used to have the laundry used to be here, and we was at the old training ground. And part of my job then was to get the training kit, to pick it up in the morning from the laundry and take it over to the cliff after it had been washed and all put together for the next day's training, you see. So that was your job. About 11:30, before the girls went for the lunch, I loaded the van, and so we had this brand new minibus, Manchester United splattered all over it, sponsored by this, and you couldn't miss this van. So I'm going up Trafford Park Road there in the van and going along, and the lights changed, and I went through the traffic lights on red, right? So by the time, and I was seen.
Okay.
Yeah. So I goes over to the training ground, pulls in, started doing my work, didn't think anything about it, unloading the van and taking it downstairs, and, you know, and all of a sudden somebody said, "Albert, the manager wants you." All right, didn't think anything about it. Finished what I was doing, knocked on his office door, he says, "Come in," he says, "you're in trouble." What? And this was in my first week. This was in my first, and I thought, I'm in trouble, what have I done here? He says, "Have you just come over here from Old Trafford?" he said, "in the bus." So I says, "Yeah." He said, "I've had the police on." I said, "The police?" So he said, "Did you go through a traffic light on Trafford Road?" he said, in the minibus. I said, "It just changed." Well, he said, "You're in trouble." He said, "You're in trouble." So he says, "You better take your licence over," he says, "to the police station," he said, "and they want to see you."
Oh, wow. And that was a joke from his side.
Yeah.
So I fell for it.
Yeah.
I fell for it.
I would do myself.
I fell for it. So I came. I was worried sick, really was. So I came here, gets my driving licence out of my car, and I went and seen the secretary at the time, a guy called Ken Merritt. But in the meantime, the boss had phoned Ken Merritt and told him, and Ken Merritt was a sensible man. Ken Merritt ended up telling the boss to forget about it, that's taking it too far. So then when I went in Ken's office, he says, "Don't worry about Albert, it's sorted out." But me, I said, "No, Ken, I want to go over there." Well, that was in my first week.
Yeah.
And then you quickly learn for that. But
It was a hard start.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there was umpteen times when things had happened.
We've heard many stories about the hairdryer treatment from Sir Alex Ferguson. You have probably seen some of them. Have you experienced one yourself?
A couple. They had 3. One I think I deserved. One I don't know what he was talking about, and the other one we still argue about.
Okay, tell us about the first one.
Well, the first one, I started going down to London on the bus on a Friday. So and then they'd follow on the train in the afternoon. So the idea was that I could go down on the bus with all the gear, go to the ground wherever we were playing, whether it's Fulham, Chelsea or Arsenal or any of the London clubs, and then you'd get finished. And then we'd go from wherever ground it was over to Euston Station and wait for the train coming in about 5 o'clock. So I said to him, "Right, I'm going to London now." I said, "I'll see you later." So he said, "All right." He said, "No problem." He said, "Do me a favour." He said, this was in his office. He said, "Take me bag." He said, "and put it in my seat on the bus." So I said, "Yeah, no problem." So he gets the bag, puts it on his seat on the bus. And off we go, and I'm sat there driving along, talking to the driver, and my mobile went. "Hiya, boss." "Albert," he says, "my bag." He says, he said, "I want a book out of it." He said, out of the pocket. He says, "Bring it up to my office I said, boss, I said, I'm just going past Luton Airport. What the fucking hell you going? So of course, he puts the phone down.
Mm-hmm.
So then we gets to the station, and all the boys are coming off. He's going to kill you. He's going to kill you. Here he is, boss. He's here. Here he is. Here he is. I'm looking at him and he's looking at me, but we didn't. So I decided to get on the bus at the back. Of course, the thing then was that I used to get the boys a hot chocolate or a coffee or a cup of tea or something like that. Albert, the boss wants a drink of tea. Can I have a... And I was... Here he is, boss. Oh, and then when we got to the hotel, he's here again, boss. Here he is. and then we went for the. So you stay out of his way.
Yeah.
We went upstairs to the room, and we had a bath and one thing. Got ready for the meal, and the boys used to dine at 7 o'clock, and we used to dine in the main restaurant at 8 o'clock. But we used to meet in the bar about 7:30 to have a quick drink before we went in. Of course, as soon as we went in the room, the staff had joined in by then. The staff, and the bosses sat there, and there was an empty chair when I walked. Yeah, Albert, you sit here. Still never said anything. No. Then we're walking down the corridor and he comes up behind me, puts his arm around me and says, "Come on, give us a kiss." But yeah.
And the third one that you said you still argue about, what is that all about?
I'm not going to say about that.
That's okay.
But there was, you know, there was times when you'd be in the dressing room at half time. There was one particular time, and the boys had been playing okay, and one thing and another, and all of a sudden he turned on me for nothing, and he just exploded, and his veins in his neck coming out, and his this and you, and we were just going ballistic. And all the boys, I think, you could see it on the boys' faces. What's Albert done? What's he doing? You know, whatever. And I didn't know, but I just sort of like listened and started to get on with my work, and it's going on, and all the lads are like spellbound. And he just sort of like turned round as he was going out of the room, and he winked at me.
Okay.
In control of himself. He winked and went out. And then at the night, he rang me and apologised because he didn't have anybody else to have a go at, only me.
Okay.
But it was to make them sit up and realise that, you know, yeah.
Is that also about trust, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. Like I say, I can't emphasise enough. I'm so proud of the trust. People try to get all sorts out of me, even to this day, about what happened and what this and whatever. But no, because that's, you know, I'm a firm believer of the old saying, what's in the dressing room stays in the dressing room. Yeah. And that's why I've got the respect of all the boys and whatever. I mean, I'm often asked, do a book. You know, I mean, I'm sat here doing this for you, but I'm not telling you anything, am I? You know, that's the way I look at it.
You're still close, you said. How is he doing these days?
Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing good, yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. He's flying at the minute because he had 2 good winners at the Cheltenham last week.
Yeah, we saw that. Yeah.
So he's flying.
He has 2 horses?
Well, I think he had 3 in the meeting, but 2 won and 1 didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you into horses?
No. Much to his disgust, he said to me yesterday, "Did you back any?" I said, "No." No.
But he's still flying, although it was last week.
Oh, he's buzzing. Yeah. He's buzzing. Yeah. Oh, he's a great man.
Yeah.
We need to talk a bit about kids as well.
About kids, yeah.
We know how much pride you put into that profession over 30 years. So let's start with an easy one. What's your favorite kit? Albert.
99 Champions League.
Easy
kit.
one. Yeah.
That never changes.
No.
That's a great kit. That.
Do you think it's because of that night and everything that they won
No,
the Champions League, or did you think that actually?
The actual winning of it doesn't come into it. I thought it was a clever design. It was clever the way they did it. Clever the way that it what did they say? It glowed in the night with the silver badge on and all that. It was.
Yeah.
It looked really good. Really, it was great.
And it was quite special as well because it was like a Champions League kit, designed for that tournament.
Oh, it's good. It's very
good choice.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it was. It was no, I'll never alter my view on that.
Yeah,
never.
What was the most frustrating thing a player could do to you as a kitman?
They did all sorts.
Yeah,
all sorts.
Did they had like special requests for their boots or socks?
Well, they all had their own individual little
routines.
I mean, but nothing. The one that I speak about most of all is Eric Cantona. He was plain and simple, but he wanted the same socks and the same shorts. And this was going back before the days that they had the numbers on the shorts. So he wanted, if you played in a black short or you played in any colour, he wanted the same shorts that he played in before. So the girls used to put a little cross in the label of the short, and then that was it. That was it in the pack. They were Eric shorts, and the same with the socks. But what he asked me for was he wanted a salt pot.
Okay.
to put in his place. So you put all his kit out, and you put the salt pot in his place. And nearly all the boys, they wanted a new sock every time. They wanted a new sock, but Eric wanted his old one. So he'd get his own ones that he'd had, and he'd pull them and he'd stretch them and he'd tug them and turn them inside out and this, that, and the other, and put his arm in and mess about, and then he'd get hold of the salt pot and put the salt in the sock. I never, to this day, I never asked him what it did, but I christened him Salt and Vinegar Feet. And
some kind of superstition.
I don't know, but so long as it worked for Eric.
Exactly.
So long as it worked for Eric, he could have asked me to put mustard in or whatever it was, and so long as it worked for him, because my idea of it all was to make sure that they go out of that dressing room feeling good, feeling comfy, the boots weren't rubbing or this, that and the other, feeling $1 million, so they could go and perform out there. And that was my mission.
Can you give us some insight into, because we have all seen Eric's qualities on the pitch, can you give us some insight into what kind of role he had in the dressing room? Was he a vocal one? Was he a quiet one? Was he a funny one? How was he in the dressing room?
It was plain and simple, Eric. Plain and simple, no messing. I mean, some of his dress that he wore. I mean, when he'd come in with a pink beret on and all this, that, and the other. I mean, me and you would look a fool in a pink beret, wouldn't we? But Eric looked $1 million.
Yeah.
And that was Eric, and he was. He was inspirational, especially to the young kids. And when I say young kids, I'm talking about your class of '92 when they all came into the team with him. They used to go out in an afternoon at the cliff and bang footballs at the wall like Eric did. And it was the final piece of the jigsaw. But biggest majority of the boys looked up to him. But he was some player.
Did he ever sing in the dressing room?
No.
He's actually having three gigs.
Well,
in Norway.
He's got a certain career now. I mean,
So
he's a lovely man, and every time he comes here, he always asks, "Where's Albert?" and this and that. And he's a good lad. He's a good guy. Like I say, we've had some wonderful guys at this football club. Really have. Brilliant.
I have some names here for you. And this is kind of a quiz. If I say Beckham, Anderson, Solskjaer and Kuszczak, what comes to mind? Beckham, Anderson, Solskjaer, Kuszczak. What comes to mind?
Oh, the letters on the shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wrong ones, are there?
I'm going to stop you here now.
Yeah.
I didn't
Stop
print.
the podcast.
I didn't print the shirts.
No.
I didn't print the shirt. I got slaughtered for it, and it was a bit of hard luck about it all. But I didn't print the shirts. They do now, but I didn't print the shirts. Went out. But people, they say, well, it's your job. You should have checked the spelling. All right, I'll accept that. But when you're checking 4 shirts for 20 players to every game, you've got a few shirts on your hands, and you become word blind and whatever when they want long sleeves, 2 long sleeves and 2 short sleeves and whatever. And I'll quote the David Beckham one when David was on the bench at Wembley, and I had the 4 shirts. He wanted long sleeve, and I just grabbed the shirt, boom, and he was on, and that was it. And then he was on the bench, and he happened to be sat in front of me. And the boss said to him, David, right, get stripped, you're going on. Of course, he was up like a flash and pulled his top off. Right away, there's the error in the spelling.
The H was missing, wasn't it?
I can't remember now which one it was.
think so.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. But in 20 years, it's like 4 times. I think that's an achievement, actually.
And then you got Tom Cusack.
Oh, different.
Well,
Difficult name.
that was a different animal, because then he got hold of me. He says, Albert, half of Europe is killing me. You've left a letter out, whatever. I think it was a Z or whatever. My phone is going, and I mean, in the end, Tom just laughed it off. But yeah, but everybody else was slaughtered, and I got the sack for that.
Did Solskjaer say anything?
No,
He didn't care.
yeah, but Ollie's Ollie.
Yeah.
Ollie's Ollie's human.
Did he have any special requests for you? No, was there any salt in socks?
When he first came here, he was that small. He used to go to Mother Care for his kit.
Yeah.
The baby-faced assassin. But
Exactly. Yeah.
What a boy! He's different. I mean, in Norway, you should be very, very proud of that boy, because he's a
Yeah, we are.
absolute
No
top,
worries.
absolute top man.
Yeah.
Absolute, and I'm not just saying that because I'm sat here doing it. He is a top boy.
Yeah, we met him both, and we agree.
Top boy.
And we've heard that Peter Schmeichel is on the other side of that demanding scale. Was he a demanding player to having the dressing room for the kitman?
I can honestly say, when I first took over from Norman, and I can say it now, and if he was sat in this room, I could say it in front of him, because Peter's turned out to be another great friend of mine, that when I first took over from Norman, I was scared to death of Peter.
How big is he?
No, it wasn't that. When he was playing on the day of the game, he was fully focused, and he was like an animal. And a lot of people didn't think he was very nice and whatever and blah blah blah. But I knew different, and it became part and parcel of the daily life when he was focused. And he used to come in and ignore people and knock people out of the way and be a bit arrogant. But he was focused on the game. And he whereas when I laid the kit out, whereas everybody had one towel, they could have another towel, but they had to ask, if you know what I mean. Peter demanded from the word go 6. I want 6 towels.
Okay.
And he wanted 3 pair of boots, and he wanted a kit to warm up in, and a kit for the first half, and a kit for the second half. And I learnt very, very quickly, and he wanted it doing in a certain way, bang, this. And I realised, and Norman told me as well, just give it him as he wants it. Take no notice of what, because the others used to say, oh, here's your favourite, because you couldn't have favourites. Here's your favourite. You've soon got a favourite with him, me. But it wasn't that. And after about 3-4 months. I had him eating out the palm of my hand. He was great, and he's still a good friend of mine. Speaks to Peter a lot.
And it was your task, wasn't it, to put a captain's armband?
Yeah. The first thing I did when I came in the morning on day of a game, I used to get changed into my match gear because we all had to come in suits then.
Yeah.
So I'd get changed, and the first thing I did after I got my gear on was get the captain's armband, the same one. I had the same captain's armband for years. For years. I used to put it on my left arm. Every time, and I used to walk about in it till it was come to 5 to 3 when the boys was coming out. They used to line up at the door in the dressing room. I used to be there, and boss was giving them the final instructions, shaking their hand, and I used to get the armband, take it off my arm, and put it on their arm.
Imagine that,
Yeah.
putting the captain's armband on Eric Cantona or Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after the game, it was like sometimes there was a panic on, because that was one of the first things I looked for. Where's the armband?
Yeah.
Where's the armband? And they'd hide it, they'd kick it under the thing or whatever, and because I wanted it. I was that superstitious about it. I wanted that armband.
And you managed to keep it for the whole...
Yeah.
Wow. Then it means something.
But sometimes I couldn't find it, but the girls would find it somewhere in with the washing.
Okay.
And then that was a big relief. They'd say to me, "Yeah, there's the armband." I mean, it's a daft stupid thing, but that was me.
Yeah.
So you were superstitious about the captain's armband, but you were also superstitious about some lucky pants, am I right?
Oh yeah. In 99, you've done your research here, haven't you? Yeah. Mr. Men pants.
Tell us about them.
Well, there was a pair of boxer shorts, and when there was like from Christmas onwards to winning the treble in '99, I wore these boxer shorts every game. And like I say, the boys used to walk about the dressing room in them and make them laugh and this type of thing. And yeah. But there was one particular time talking about boxer shorts and saying what you've had done to you. We'd been in London somewhere, and we're coming back on the coach, and I used to do the food on the coach as well, sausage sandwiches and this type of thing then. And I'm getting up, the bus driver used to put the sausages or whatever it was in the oven on the coach, and I'd go and get hold of it all and sort it out and take it down to bus in plates, and I'm walking down the bus. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? Something's not right. And I'm pulling my pants up and having a bit of a squirm and a squiggle and pulling. And I goes back in the kitchen. I pulled my jumper up and had a look down the front of my pants. And one of the boys had put DP in my underpants.
Oh. What is DP?
It's a massage.
Yeah.
Tiger balsam.
Yeah, tiger balsam, yeah.
So like that, yeah. So it was quite uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Quite uncomfortable and a bit warm down there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Of course, the boys soon got to know that Albert was in trouble.
Yeah.
It was all laughing and giggling.
Yeah, because that was my next question. Being part of a dressing room, obviously, you have probably been at the receiving end from some practical jokes from the players.
Yeah.
Do you have any more stories about that?
Well, I was in the kitchen. I was in the kitchen with the. So what could you do? You sort of like, I've got to take me suit bottoms up, my trousers off, take me underpants off. Of course, you've got to have a wash. So I had a wash, but I didn't have a towel apart from the tea towel. Right, what you're serving the food with.
Yeah.
So I had to dry myself with the tea towel, didn't I? So I had a little bit of my own back there that the boys been serving serving them the food. But then, and I found out that it was David May that did it.
Okay.
You know, because Maisie was the biggest practical joker ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't have to wait long to get my revenge. A few weeks later, I did a reserve game. And I was walking around. That was at Aston Villa at Villa Park. And I always used to walk around the dressing room saying anybody forgotten anything, and you know, because they were all on the bus. And I looked round, and in where one of them had been sat was some car keys and a wallet. Oh, the older the car, and I opened the wallet. Whose wallet was it? David May's. Oh, I thought, right, here we go. So he had his credit cards in, he had all his cards, driving licence, car keys, the lot. In my pocket, went on the bus. Say, all right, boys, having a cup of tea and a sandwich and this, walking up down the bus, going up the M6, about 3/4 of the way up the M6. I heard Maisie say, oh, shit, I've lost my car keys. Oh, and my wallet. Albert, yes, Maisie. You know, you didn't have a look in the dressing room. You know, when you was looking round, you didn't... I said, no, son. I said, you're hopeless, blah, blah, blah. So then the next minute, he's on the phone to his wife to get her to bring the spare car keys. And he says to her, you better get onto all the banks and cancel all the cards. So I was thinking, yes, I've got it.
You got him.
So then when we got to the Four Seasons, to where they all got off the bus, I'm getting all the bags off the bus, and he's stood there like waiting for his wife to come. Where is she? And blah blah blah. And he's on the phone to her and whatever. And as I'm getting back on the bus, I said, "Yeah, Maisie," I said, "I've got something for you." "What's that?" And he went, "One each."
Nice.
That's a good one.
That's the things you had to do.
Yeah.
You had to do that to survive. And I'd been thrown in baths and all sorts.
Yeah.
We're about to round off and let you go, Albert, but we have to have a few more, and we've been told that we have to ask you about a certain burst sewage pipe in the Sunderland dressing room where you...
Who told you about all this?
We keep our
Who told you about all
sources
this?
secret.
Oh, that was the worst. That was the worst.
What happened?
Well, we played at Sunderland at the Stadium of Lights. That we very, very quickly turned, and I still call it now to this day, the Stadium of Shite. Because we gets to the ground in the morning to put all the kit out. There was me and 3 of the staff, like we went every Saturday. So when we get there, the guy that was letting in the dressing room, he says, "We've got a bit of a leak in the dressing room, Albert." He says, "But it's all right." He said, "We've got a bucket under it." He said, "Do you think it'll be able to work round it?" He says, "Because..." He said, "We spoke to the plumber about it," he said, "and he's going to have a look at it on Monday, can't do it on match day." So I says, "Yeah." I said, "Not a problem." So there's this bucket in the middle of the floor. It goes drip, drip, drip. And that was it. So we laid the gear out, and we went back to the hotel and come back at about 1:30 to get changed for the game and whatever, all the boys there. And the bucket had been changed to a big dustbin, and the drip was getting more and more and more, and the dustbin, they just emptied it before we arrived, and then it was filling up. So everybody gets ready and they're taking the shoes off and putting them where it's just a normal day. So all the boys go out for the warm-up, and the manager's in the corner of the room like he always did with a cup of tea, reading the programme, minding his own business. And I go out on the pitch to collect all the sweat tops that the boys just flinging on the floor and collecting the balls in and one thing and another. And one of the security men comes up to me and he says, Albert, he says, you better come in the dressing room quick. I says, why? He says, that bin's filling up quite rapid, he said. So I says, right, okay. So I went in and the bin was almost to the top and it was starting to smell a little bit. So I thought, anyway, the next minute we looked up and they had these big about 2 of them, them ceilings tiles there, but there was a big bow in it.
Oh,
big bow in it. And no sooner had you looked up, and the manager was in the corner there, and he looked up, and I don't know what made him, but he stood up and he sort of like quick as a flash. He was at the door and out of the dressing room. The next minute, this tile come out of the ceiling, smashed on the floor, on the edge of the massage bed in the middle of the room.
Oh.
Knocked this big bin over.
No.
And I'm going to say shit come from everywhere. Everywhere. It was on the walls, all over me, and all the staff. It was ankle deep. Ankle deep.
Wow.
And we all stood there, and it was just coming and everywhere, all over the suits, everywhere, all over splattered on the walls. It was everywhere. Tell you what, it's good for you. It's good for you. It removes the hard skin on the bottom of your feet. I'll tell you.
Oh.
It was everywhere. So we did know. You couldn't do anything. And then of course the boys are coming in for the game. The boys were coming in for the game. I'm not wearing that. It's covered in shit. I'm not wearing that. Whoa. Hang on. Don't panic. So I always used to take, for emergencies, a spare kit with me. A rabbit, as they used to say. But the rabbit, spare kit, was in a bag, in a dry... Well, it was in the bathroom or the dressing room where everybody got showered. It was in there.
That's experience right there.
Yeah. So Norman taught me that as well. You know, that's what he did. So I goes in and says right, and the other members, and we all, the boys were in the corridor outside. So I was I'd already took my trainers and my socks off. I had shorts on and. You know, I had shit up to my knee type of thing and whatever, and all the staff were, the 4 staff were, you know, they were getting the. I'm not wearing my shoes. Berbatov, he was crying because he had these Gucci shoes. He had these Gucci shoes with his watch in and one thing and another, and it was just full of shit. The shoe.
What a sight!
Honestly.
Yeah.
And anyway, gets the boys. And what it was with the spare kit was the shirts that they changed at half time. You see, of course the game was delayed for half an hour. I don't know what reason they give to this day. I don't know what the reason they give. So then it was the big clean up. And Steve Bruce, who was the manager, who's a big favourite here and a big friend of mine, Brucey. Yeah. He was the manager. He came in and you know, he played centre back and he was a sweeper. Well, he come in with the biggest brush that you could find. He was in his match day gear for Sunderland, and he's at the back of our dressing room, Brucey, shoveling all this shit out. So the manager Sir Alex had a go at Brucey. Yeah. That's about your limit and all that, brushing his shit out.
Wow. That's brilliant.
Yeah. That's a good story.
And then at half, so they go out, they come in at half time. Of course, it was basically Sunderland were fantastic. They really were. They got staff in to clean up and whatever. The smell was horrendous, and it was the main sewer pipe. For the you know 27,000 arseholes this bloody this thing.
Did you win the game? Do you remember?
I think we won 1-0.
Okay.
And then at half time they come in.
Yeah.
Albert, I've got to change my shirt.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I said, well, you can have one of these full of shit if you want.
No one changed, I guess.
Everybody was up. Well, what am I going to do? I said, well, take one out of that bag. There's plenty. You know.
Wow.
Well, brilliant, absolutely. And then we had to, all the suits were ruined. We had to phone for the coach to come back. And during the second half, we was upstairs getting all the suitcases off the coach for the lads to put the tracksuits on, because we left all the kit in. All the suits were all covered in shit and one thing, and then we had to go in every shoe and get the watches out and the wedding rings and all the and the earrings and one thing and another. I'm an earring missing. Oh, have a look in that shit there. You might find it.
Wow. So when Sir Alex Ferguson was having his halftime speech, that was in that dressing room with that smell?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the wind was despite of...
He didn't say much that day.
No. Covering his nose most of the time. Short.
But honestly, Sunderland were fantastic.
Yeah.
Sunderland were... And it never got out in the media.
No. Until now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But honestly, it was...
Yeah. We should do some research on what was given as reason that day.
Yeah.
Do you
remember
should be
the
interesting.
year? Which year was this?
No.
Bubs
Steve
played,
Bruce was
and Bubs
manager.
played, so yeah.
But
we should dig into that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They were. And, you're thinking to yourself, well, what they going to do with the soups? Are they, but I think they must have put everything in and incinerated it.
Yeah.
Because that's how bad it was. It was just fucking hellfire. I goes home and my wife was always, she always knew that because you had something, you were wearing your suit and you looked very smart and whatever.
Yeah.
And I walked in and she says, and I had my tracksuit on, and she says, "Where's your suit? What's up with your suit? Where's your suit?" And then I started telling her, and she's going, all your shoes were... I walked in with a pair of trainers on. Oh.
We are probably into Fergie time now.
Yeah.
Do you have time for 3 quick fire questions?
Go on then.
Yeah. Which halftime talk from Sir Alex Ferguson do you remember the most?
Is it that one?
No, not that one.
Stadium of shit.
Well, when we played Tottenham. Played Tottenham
3-0.
And we were getting beat 3-0 at half time. And you say to yourself, aye, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one. He's going mad. And we weren't playing all that bad, And so he goes in and the dude put the shirts out, the ones that changed, and cups of tea here and there, and put a cup of tea down for him. And they came in, the boys, and they were all grumbling and whatever. And then he walks in and silence. So he just stood there and you're thinking, come on then, this is going to be a good one. And he just says, right, what's the matter with you? He says, come on. He said, we're not doing bad, blah, blah, blah. He says, go and get an early goal. He said, we'll win this. He said, no problem. He said, no, come on. And everybody's thinking, bloody hell, and he's sat there with his tea and one thing and another. And then the bell went to go out. And, right, come on, lads, he says, don't forget. He said, early goal, we'll do this. So they all goes out. Andy Cole scored after 28 seconds.
Yeah.
Scored after 28 seconds. So and then, of course, we went on to win 5-3.
Yeah.
And everybody came in at the end and they're all, they're all giving it the big one and whatever. And we go, right, shut up, you lot. Now get on that fucking bus and we're going home.
He knew how to keep them on their feet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His man management is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Man management is unbelievable. They go on about psychologists, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people say we've never had a psychologist here.
They had in Sir Alex Ferguson.
We had a psychologist here for 28 years.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
I tell you. He was unbelievable.
Can you tell us who was the most influential player in the dressing room, from your point of view?
Roy Keane.
Yeah.
In his day.
Yeah.
Roy was Roy was the manager on the pitch.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, and the funniest player.
Well, we've had a few of them, son. The hellfire. I mean, Butt and Giggs and Scholesy when they were all together. And Roy can do it. He's funny with a good. But we've had some great characters, fabulous people working at. I'm like I'll use that word proud a lot. I'm proud of all my boys here. They've been brilliant.
The last one for me. If you can look out the window here.
Yeah.
Tell us about the one time you had this Nike commercial with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, that end there, yeah.
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 What was that? Tell us how it was to play in that commercial. You had the main role.
Well, you're not going to believe this, but I still get asked to this day, was it you? Right?
Who was it?
I don't know. Well, it was me.
It was you. So you have played football yourself then?
What you're trying to say here, this is what I'm saying to everyone. You're trying to say to me that it was fixed, weren't you?
No, I believe you. I believe you. No doubts at all.
Well, the best part about that, it was great. It was good. You know, there was a lot of people here, and they was taking the mickey and whatever. But the best bit was at the centre circle there when it was finishing. When he comes in and he says, "Can I give us my shirt and I takes the shirt off and I'm there with bare chest." There was a ball at the side of me, and I picked the ball up, and Ronnie's walking away, and I gets the ball and I drop kicks it, boom, that, and it hits him on the back of the head. Hits him on, and everybody absolutely pissed themselves laughing.
What about him?
So did he.
Yeah.
So did he. Honestly, he thought it was great. He thought it was part of the thing.
Oh, yeah.
But for some unknown reason, they didn't put it in. And they made it. Yeah.
That's funny.
They'd have made it, but they didn't. And they had it there because we was watching it. We had it, and they wouldn't put it in. I don't know why. To this day, I don't know why.
Thank you for your time, Albert.
No,
thank you for the stories. There were definitely some good ones there.
The shit one was the best.
Is that your favorite?
Yeah, well, that's one, and another good one. I've got to tell you this. This was the funniest. But again, this is in the northeast. So when we played at the likes of Newcastle and Sunderland and places like that, we always used to stay at this place called Lumley Castle, and it was a 15th or 16th century Old English castle on top of a hill overlooking this place called Chester Lee Street, and it was a 99% original castle. The rooms were still there and they were all done up old, but it's a great place. It's supposed to have been haunted and this and that and the other, and all original, very, very dark lighting, and all the rooms were of that era and whatever. And there was a rumour that it was haunted.
Okay.
And I had an experience there, so I can go along with it a little bit. And there was a lot of comment about we don't want to stay there and whatever. And it was at the time when Carlos Queiroz was here, and he brought a fitness coach with him, an Italian guy called Walter da Silva. And Carlos and Walter were very, very close, and they went everywhere together. And all for the week before that, before going to this particular time, they were all going on about, we want to change the hotel and we want to do this and we don't want to stay there and whatever. And the manager was very superstitious about hotels. If you won there the year before, you went back to the same hotel.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. And he wouldn't have it that we're going to stay at Lumley Castle. Oh no. Anyway, we're all on the bus going up the road. And Tony Colton, who's one of the funniest men, he was our goalkeeper coach, one of the funniest men that I've ever met in my life. Good lad, Tony. He's winding them all up, getting them all going about the ghost and this and that, and having a very funny, very witty. Anyway, we get to the hotel and they all go off to the rooms and whatever. So the boys, like I said before, they eat at 7 o'clock. We eat in the main restaurant at 8 o'clock. Have a couple of beers and whatever, and everybody went to bed, and Sir Alex went to bed. And a few minutes later, it was like Walter and Carlos went to bed. And and all of a sudden, Tony Colton says, "Well, lads, come on, let's go and have some fun." What? Let's go and have some fun. So he goes up to Tony's room and he says to Mick Phelan, "Strip the bed." Strip the bed? Strip the bed. So he gets a white sheet, puts it on Mick Phelan. This is funny. And he's got a suitcase and he's got these masks in. Well, to this day, when you think about these masks, it frightens you. But in every room of these, if I'm not careful, I'm going to ruin this. In every room of this hotel, they had a big teddy bear on the bed. Big teddy bear on the bed, on all the rooms. So, unawares to us, Tony had been in, while we were downstairs, he'd got a pass key and he'd gone in Walter's room. And he'd unzipped the back of one of these teddy bears and he'd put, the walkie-talkie for the kids? Baby minder. He put one of them in the back of the teddy bear. So he puts it on the back of the teddy bear. So they go there and he's Walter, Carlos on the door. Well, me and Gary Armour and the other lad we were absolutely on the floor in the dark laughing. Oh, it was so fun. And Carl, you hear Walter say, "Go to reception. I knew this place was on. We'll have to go to I want to move. We'll have to go." No. And then he opened the door and he shut it all in one move. Boom. What are we going to do? Oh, Walter. Well, anyway, so we went in and they were scared to death. But unawares to us, so then the laugh was over and we all went to bed. So I gets ready for bed, pulls my duvet back, and there's a full skeleton in my bed that Colton had put in my bed. There's this full skeleton.
An eventful night, this.
Yeah, no, I'm not finished yet. The best of it had come. So we goes down and had another drink. We all went to bed. But what we didn't know was Tony had with this thing.
Yeah.
Every time he got up in the night and before he went to sleep at night, "Carlos, Walter, are you okay? Walter, in the thing." And every time he got up in the night for a pee or whatever, "Walter."
Wow.
So we come down, we get up the next morning. We get up the next morning for breakfast to go to the ground. All the lads are still in bed and whatever. Well, Walter come in, I'm not kidding you, it was like death warmed up. Death warmed up, so we're all sat there. and he says, "You all right, Walter?" "Oh, DC. Oh, what a night. We are not staying at this fucking hotel no more. Oh, no. I pay for myself to go down the road. No more." "Why?" "Oh, it was this. And even the fucking teddy bear knew my name."
Wow.
Oh, the best. That was.
That's a very nice way to end it, and it's nice to see it still chuckles you up so many years after. So good.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Oh, that's banter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the stories, Albert.
Fucking hell.
We just hope.
You got me going.
Yeah. We should actually stay for a couple of more hours now. I think there's more to come.
Oh, fucking hell.
But
One more, right?
yeah.
One more.
Thank you.
Solskjaer, lovely lad and all
Yeah.
that, but a little bastard. I'm going to start swearing.
Okay.
Right, it can be funny. When we went away on trips, you know, to Europe and this and the other, we train the night before the game, and then they'd get on the bus, they'd be all sweaty with the kit on and whatever. And I used to say to them, right lads, leave your kit outside your room, and I'll pick it up, because they go in, have a shower, and then go down for something to eat, you see. So, and I had a pass key for all the rooms. So you go upstairs on and then I went outside this room, no kit. Gets my key out of my pocket, goes in. Pitch black the room, pitch black. So I stepped inside looking for the switch. Next minute, whoosh, something comes over me. I'm knocked off my feet.
Okay.
And right away, I recognise Ollie's voice. And him and Yap used to room together. So next minute, I'm upside down, and I don't know which one it was. They were tying. I was in the duvet cover, right? I was in it, and they tied the end up with the duvet cover.
Yeah.
And you know the linen chest in the wardrobes of these hotels.
Yeah.
Opened the linen chest, boom, I was in there. Right? They shut the lid, and off they went. Two lovely lads, by the way, real good mates of mine. Tell them if they're listening. Put me in this box, and then they went downstairs for something to eat.
Wow, I didn't believe that.
They went downstairs for something to eat.
Wow.
I was there over an hour.
Really?
Yeah. The door opened, and I heard one of them say, "He could be dead."
How was that
Did
for
they
you?
forget
What?
you?
How was that for you?
Well, I was all right with it because
Yeah.
I realised that I could breathe and one thing and another, you know. But yeah, and then so then it was very nice of them to let me out.
In a way, I'm happy I was not a part of that dressing room because yeah, like we said.
But I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
No.
Fantastic.
And we wouldn't have missed this for the world. Albert, thank you so much for your
Pleasure.
time and your
Thank you
stories.
very much. Thank you very much.
And we're just hoping Ferguson doesn't sack you next week.
But how was it? You are sacked right now, aren't you? Or
what?
do you have the job? Do you have the job?
Well, yeah.
You're not sure?
No, I'm not
No?
sure. Well, anything, it could change tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good change.
Thank you, Albert.
It's a
It was
pleasure.
a pleasure.
Thank you.